Why no smoking works but yes smoking doesn't? No smoking is a formula used to indicate smoking is not allowed. Why can't we use yes smoking to indicate smoking is allowed? Although, we might use humorously, but I've never heard actually. Unlike yes, no can also be an adverb of degree and an adjective. Here's the etymology of the adjective no from OED. Variant of non-adjective with loss of final N, used originally before consonants except H, which ultimately became the standard form of the negative determiner except in archaic or poetic use. Here's an explanation of the adjective, determiner, none from OED. In later use the form none, or nane, etc., occurs mainly before vowels in H, and after 1600 is almost entirely supplanted by the reduced form no, nay, etc. Exceptions are the phrase none affect and before other, see sense A. 2. Where survival may be due to interpreting other as post-modifying a pronominal none. The earliest example where no denotes that something is forbidden or unwelcome is from A1625 according to OED. Sweat. Mercy yet. Bond. No talking, puff, there goes all your pitié. J. Fletcher Bonduca 4. 4, and F. Beaumont and Amp, J. Fletcher Comedies and Amp, Trag. 1647, 65. No smoking is a phrase but can be used as an attributive adjective also. The earliest example of no smoking as a phrase is from 1837, OD. No smoking allowed in the cabin, sick. W. G. Clark Podiana 21, in Knickerbocker December 520. The earliest example of no smoking as an adjective is from 1944, OD. I wanted to smoke, but fell asleep before the no smoking sign was switched off. J. Gunther D. Day. 13. Edelman line has the following for no smoking, adjective. 1905, the sign wording itself is attested by 1817. Smoking is a vice too, sick, and a national one, of such magnitude that railroad corporations throughout all their routes in the United States have a special command in large letters, conspicuously placed at depots and inside of the cars, no smoking allowed here. The Sailor's Magazine, December 1840. I've tried to answer my own question and it can be useful for other people, but I would like to get some further information on this. The original sense of the adjective no is not any. I wonder how it evolved to be used in the phrases like no smoking, no pets, etc. Also, yes smoking could be a useful shortcut but didn't become a set phrase. It is related to yes not being an adjective but language evolves. It can be explained regarding evolutionary linguistics as well. I think we will stick to smoking allowed for now.
No as an adjective is used to negate the default state of affirmation. Negation and affirmation are not perfectly equal opposites. In general, a mentioned thing is presumed to exist or be true unless it is explicitly negated. This is admittedly a convention rather than an underlying natural law, but it's one that goes very deep and crosses many cultures and disciplines. In logic, for example, the statement is true if X itself is false, and false if X is true. The function word not performs the negation. To create the corresponding affirmative statement, we need no function word, and the statement is simply which is true if X is true, and false if X is false. Likewise, in programming, a code block that begins with executes if the variable foo evaluates to true, and does not execute if the variable evaluates to false. Affirmation is the default state, so we do not need an additional operator to toggle the state to affirmation. If we want the opposite to occur, we must use a negation operator. Where the character serves the same purpose as not, or as the adjective form of no. So the reason we don't use yes as an adjective is because it's not needed, its function is served by the absence of no. Now, it's true that a sign that merely says smoking may not be well understood, but that's only because no smoking is not a complete sentence. When we see a no smoking sign, we understand that the message it's really conveying is no smoking is allowed, and of course we don't need any form of yes to convey the opposite message, smoking is allowed.
We don't see yes smoking because, where signs are concerned, the opposite of no smoking is smoking.
Since your question is basically why doesn't yes smoking work? It is helpful to start with yes before moving to no. Yes is a particle or an interjection, or a noun directly referring to one of these. As such, it is almost always understood as a one-word sentence. No can be the opposite of yes, but it also has other meanings that can't be negated to yes. No is also a determiner meaning not any and none. The antonyms of these are any and some. No is also a determiner meaning not any and none. He has no apples. Does he not have any apples? How many apples does he have? None. Negating these sentences, thereby making them positive again, gives. He has apples. Does he have any apples? How many apples does he have? Some. So, to negate no smoking by adding another word, you could say some smoking, but the most normal way is to simply not negate it in the first place, smoking. This URL.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.